Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden. I am freezing cold today, so I have my hoodie on and everything. It's cold down here. I'm shivering down here. But today's video is going to be going over the top 10 car generations that I love, while everybody else loves a different generation, if that makes any sense. It's kind of hard to explain, but pretty much, like, for example, let's say this is not on my list. So let's say somebody loved the Mark III Supra over the Mark IV. That would be on the list. A hot take in terms of like generations with cars. I hope that makes sense. It'll be very obvious once we actually get into the list how it works and everything. I just don't really know how to word it. But once we actually get into the list, it makes sense. Either way, we are going to be getting progressively hotter as the list goes on as well. So like the first one, number 10, is going to be one that I feel like some people might agree with. But number 1 is going to be one where I feel like everybody's going to call me a big butt sniffing idiot. So hopefully it's going to be entertaining. But either way, media of the day is Bruffy1322. He is a YouTuber who does Grand Theft Auto online content, but not like, hey guys, welcome back. It's very relaxing, and he has a series called Random All, where every time he does like races, he's a race car driver, obviously, because I like cars, and every time he does a lap, he gets a random car in the game, just some random car. It could be a big rig or it could be a supercar. And I know it doesn't sound that entertaining, but if you watch it, it is so relaxing and so entertaining to watch, for me at least. I don't know, he doesn't get like crazy views or anything, so maybe I'm in the minority here, but I like it a lot. I think if you like motorsports or anything like that, you might like this. I think it's pretty interesting. But without further ado, let's go right into it with number 10. And that is going to be going to the Murcielago. The Murcielago is, in my opinion, the best Lamborghini ever created. Now, there are people that say it's the Countach, and there are people that say it's the Aventador, and then there are people that say it's one of their Lamborghini's hypercars, like the Veneno or the Centenario? Centenario? I don't remember what that car is called. Or the Revelto, or the Reventon, or any of those cars. I disagree. I think it's the Murcielago. I think the Murcielago is not only the best Lamborghini of all time, one of the best supercars of all time. I'm not a big supercar guy. I don't really care too much about them. But the Murcielago has a hold on me. I love it so much. Every time I see it, I think about it. Every time I see the Murcielago, I want a Murcielago. It's one of the only supercars that I genuinely just like sit there and I'm like, man, I would love to own one. This car makes me want to be a rich millionaire so that I can own one. They're beautiful cars, and in my opinion, they're the best Lamborghini of all time. And as for the number 9 spot, again, this is the whole point of the video, man. They're hot takes. I think the 350Z is the best Z. I feel like everybody else kind of unanimously agrees that the 300ZX Z32 twin turbo is the best Z of all time. In my opinion, it's the 350Z. Maybe I got personal bias because I owned one, and fair enough. You know, I did own a 350Z, and I loved every second of it when it was running. It didn't like to run a lot because it was a salvage title, and the kids before me liked to mess with the ECU for God knows what reason. But either way, when it was running, I had a blast. I loved that car, and to this day, it's my favorite Z car ever created. If anything, I would say this is probably one of the more hated Z cars too, which is insane to me because yeah, it doesn't sound that great or whatever, and yeah, it's not great for building power or whatever, but it doesn't matter. The car is absolutely beautiful, man, absolutely beautiful, and it's a good bargain. I mean, I say it in every one of my videos, but it really is an incredible bargain deal in my opinion. Coming in at the number 8 spot, however, you guys already probably know this because I talk about it all the time on this channel. I like to glaze this car, but it is at the C5 Corvette is the best Corvette. I love the C5 Vet, man. I love every single centimeter about the C5 Corvette. It is absolutely perfect in my opinion. And everybody else is always like, oh, the C6. C6 is incredible. It's the best Corvette of all time. I don't really care for the C6 that much. I think the C5 is a little bit cooler. And then on top of that, the C7s. Everybody loves the C7s. Listen, I like the C7s too. Those are beautiful cars, don't get me wrong. Don't think they're my favorite though. I don't think they're my favorite. The older heads like the C2s the best, split window C2s. Not me. If you like the C8 the best because it has the best performance out there, not me. I like the C5 the best. I feel like the C5 just no one ever really talks about, and it's a crime. It really is. It's the first LS powered Corvette as well. It still had pop-up headlights, which, I mean, come on, that you got to include that. And its price nowadays is incredible for what it is. You can buy one of these things for like $10,000 to $15,000, and you have a 350 horsepower rear-wheel drive 6-speed manual LS powered Corvette. What else do you need? Coming in at 7th place, I own one of these cars. Okay, it's the RSX or the DC5 Integras. Sorry for my heater turning on, by the way. If you can hear that humming noise, that's what that is. I apologize. If I waited for that to turn off, I'd be waiting here for hours though, and I'm actually very grateful that it did turn on because I'm freezing. But it's the RSX over the Integra, again, or the DC5 Integra over the DC4s or DC2s or any of the other Integras. I think the RSX is the best generation of the Integra, and I own a DC4 Integra. So again, this is not personal bias here. I genuinely think the RSX is just better. In terms of performance, it is just better. It got better lap times and everything like that. And everybody loves the DC2 Type Rs because of the fact that they were incredible cars at the time. And when they came out, they're like the fastest front-wheel drive car in the world. Yeah, they were. You know what beat the you know what first front-wheel drive car it was that beat the DC2 Type R? That was a weird way of wording that, but you know what I meant. The DC5. The DC5 was the first front-wheel drive car to come out after the DC2 Integra to beat it. It is just incredible, and I don't really get why people don't talk about the RSX more than they talk about the Integra. Coming in at 6th place, though, I'm not a big supercar guy, and I would consider the Porsche 911 as a supercar. I know some people might call it a sports car. I feel like it's a supercar. But either way, I went with the 993 is my favorite of the 911s. I just think it has that absolutely perfect smack dab in the middle combination of it still has that like analog classic interior and classic feel of a 930 or a 964 Porsche 911, but while still also being modern enough to not be an uncomfortable, miserable car to drive like the 996, 997s, 991s, and 992s obviously too. But I feel like everybody else is just like 991 or 992. Like they all are just kind of like those are the best. And then the older guys obviously they like the 930s and the 964s. And while I do love every generation of the Porsche 911, even the 996 is a cool 911, I think the 993 is the best. Maybe that's my 2000s boy talking. I love the 90s cars. Those are my favorite. That's my favorite decade of cars by far. So maybe that's the reason why. But man, I've always loved the 993. The 993 is a beautiful 911, in my opinion, the best one. Like I said, though, staying in the Porsche family actually for a second here because, well, we're talking about another Porsche. That's how that works. But like I said, they're getting progressively hotter as we go here. So number 5, I think the Porsche GT4 Cayman 718 GT4 RS, whatever you want to call it, is a cooler car than the GT3 RS. And I would much rather own one. I know it's crazy to say that. I just enjoy lightweight, fun little rear-wheel drive track monsters. And while the GT3 RS absolutely is that, I feel like it's a little bit too, like, I don't even know how to word it really. I just feel like I would have so much more fun with a GT4 than I would with a GT3 RS or a GT3. I really do. And on top of another little hot take, you want to throw another one in there? I actually like the GT3s over the GT3 RSs as well. I just feel like the GT3 RS is just a little bit too overboard. I've never been a massive fan of the crazy spoilers and all the canards and splitters and vents and everything that the GT3 RS has. I just kind of like the subtlety and simplicity of the GT4s better. Coming in at 4th place, I get why this is a debate and everything, and I know people are going to get mad at me, that's why I put it all the way up here at 4th place, but at the same time, man, I feel like people are just wrong, because I went with the NB Miata is better than the NA Miata, because it kind of is. Like, I don't get why there's so much praise for the NA Miata besides the looks, and that's really all it is. Let's be real, people just like the looks of the NA Miata because it's a cute little car. But let's be real, man, it is the NB is the exact same car. I mean, it has the same motor, same transmission, same everything. It's just better. Like, it's just the better car. It has a little bit more power. I don't think it's enough to really make a serious difference, and I will say it does weigh a little bit more, I think by 100 pounds or so, maybe less than that. Not enough to make a serious difference there either. But the modern, like, interior quality and everything like that is just so much better, while also having better suspension pieces and everything like that as well. It's just an overall, in my opinion, a more well-rounded car than the NA Miata. And, hot take, I like the looks of the NB over the NA. Coming in at 3rd place is, like, car guy sacrilege, I feel like, because I would rather have, and I think the McLaren P1 is a cooler car than the McLaren F1. I just like it better. Every time I've ever heard any human being in the world say anything about the McLaren F1, it's a praise sometimes, most of the time, about their performance and everything like that. Don't get me wrong, that's definitely a good thing. But I feel like the vast majority of people that actually drove them and like did a test drive review on the McLaren F1 says they're an absolute nightmare. And I feel I would hate to, I mean, obviously if you own a McLaren F1, you probably have like 20 other cars, and so you're not driving it every day and everything like that. I get that, I understand that. But I just think the P1 is just an overall more enjoyable experience to own. And performance-wise, it is better. Like, it is a better car performance-wise. And then on top of all that, the big thing here is the looks. This is easily my favorite looking car ever created. I think the P1 is perfect. It's beautiful. Everything about the car is absolutely beautiful. But the F1, I do like it. I do think it's good. I just don't think it's as good looking as this one. Coming in at second place, again, I told you guys they're going to get hotter and hotter as we go. Y'all can't get mad at me, man. I told you this is what was going to happen, okay? Because second place, I think the Mark 8 GTI is my favorite GTI right now. I used to love the Mark 4 the best, and I still do love the Mark 4 GTI. Don't get me wrong; it's still a beautiful car, incredible car. And in terms of like lightweight, which one's most fun to drive? Probably the Mark 4 GTI, because it's still got that like raw feeling behind it. And that's the big problem with these modern cars, obviously, is the fact that they're all like electric power steering. The cars kind of do the work for you sometimes, and it doesn't feel as rewarding to get like good lap times or really beat on the car, right? But I've heard a lot of reports about how the Mark 8 GTIs and the Mark 7 GTIs do still have that very good driver connection to the road, and they do still feel like a driver's car, while just having the added bonus of being extremely nice interior quality wise and like being extremely comfortable and everything like that, and also being faster and just like being an overall quicker car as well. And I love the looks of the Mark 8 GTI too. I think that's one very underrated car actually right now. I feel like everybody just kind of forgot about the GTI. Like the Mark 7 GTI was famous and everybody was modifying it and everything. But I feel like I haven't seen anyone modify the Mark 8s, and they're beautiful cars. And apparently, performance-wise, they're great as well. Honorable mention, because it has nothing to do with cars, but it's a shameless plug for my new gaming channel. Pinned comment below if you guys are interested in watching me play video games, because it's that games with hunting in them are better than games without hunting in them. Boom. How do you like that for a shameless plug, huh? Go check it out. I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2 right now, and you can hunt in that game, and I'm having an absolute blast. It's in the like I said, it's the pinned comment below. Go check it out. But first place, and in my opinion, the hottest take of this list, I feel like everybody's gonna come to my house and castrate me after saying this. I think the R35 GTR is better than the R34 GTR. Now, I will not say that I think the R35 GTR is my favorite generation of the GTR. I do still think I'd rather have an R32. I really like the R32s. But the R35 is a close second. It really is. And everybody's like, oh, you're a TikTok kid. You're a modern kid that likes all the modern cars. No, man. No. I mean, yeah, I go on TikTok, and yeah, I like modern cars, whereas everybody else doesn't for some reason. But no, I think the R35 GTR is just genuinely just so freaking cool. And like, this is like everything that we want out of modern Japanese car manufacturers is in the R35 GTR. And hating on that is like the opposite of what we should be doing as car guys. We should be praising them for making a car like that in the modern day. It is incredible. It is an incredible car, and I would much rather own an R35 GTR over an R34, especially for the price. Now, obviously, if somebody were like to give me them for free, and I was not allowed to sell them, because I'm obviously an intelligent man, so if they gave me it for free and I was allowed to sell it, I would just take the R34, sell that, and then buy an R35 and still have $400,000 left over. But not allowed to sell them, I would take the R35. I would. I think it's just overall a more enjoyable experience for me. It has more power out of the gate. It's got a perfectly fine motor. Arguably, the VR38 Det is arguably a better motor than the RB26 Det. I've said it, and I'm not going back on it. Like, these motors are insanely good. And it's miraculous what they did with the R35, and I think it's better than the R34. Again, R32 is tough, though, because I think I would rather have an R32, just because I love how they look. But besides that, I think the R35 is the best GTR besides the R32. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video of the top 10 cars where I like a different generation than the rest of the community does. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos I'd see in the comment section down below. Check the links in the description for any of my other social medias or any of my other YouTube channels or any of that great mumbo jumbo. And like I said at the honorable mention spot, pinned comment below for my new gaming channel called Giggity Plays, man, where we're playing some Red Dead Redemption 2 over there. I'm actually like addicted to that game. It is like unbelievably fun. I'm upset actually that it took me so long to play it. So if you guys are interested in watching me play through some story-based games for the first time ever, because again, I've been a competitive gamer. Call of Duty, Battlefield, Rainbow Six Siege, favorite game of all time right there. Rainbow Six Siege, absolute perfection. Rocket League, Fortnite, Apex Legends, Marvel Rivals when that was popping for like a week. I played them. I've always been into the competitive games, never really put any time into the story games. Decided to make that channel to try that out, and so far it's working great. Now, to be fair, I started with a game that everybody said is like one of the best of all time, so maybe that's why it's happening. But they were not wrong. Red Dead Redemption 2 is an incredibly fun game. I'm loving every second of it. So if you guys are interested in watching me play that, go check it out, and like I said in the pinned comment below. But either way, that is the end of today's video, lads. I feel like I'm forgetting to tell you guys something. I definitely am, and it's going to drive me absolutely insane. Absolutely bonkers. Straight up bonkers. Man, I can't remember what it was I was going to tell you guys. Yeah, that is very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. well, I don't remember what it was I was going to tell you, so I'm just going to leave you guys on a cliffhanger here. Maybe I'll remember it by next episode, by my next video, and I will tell you guys it then, but I can't remember it for the life of me right now, so sorry about that. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.